Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. The studio vlog is going to focus on the months of August and September, and in this video we're going to finish a painting. So if you want to see the completion of the pink peony painting, keep watching to the end and I'll kind of explain how this painting came about and the process behind it. Oh my god, I'm so excited. So I bought these mooncakes. I've never tried these before. And I want to do a moon painting soon. So I figured I should try them. So I'm helping my friend make wedding rings for our other friend, and this is supposed to be the stone for that. So we're gonna open it. So basically I studied painting and silversmithing when I was in school, so you'll probably see a little bit of both on here, but I'm not sure. I might just only do painting. But yes, I do know how to do that. My friend built the silver part. I had to add all the embellishments and the stone settings. So once these are finished and polished, then I can set the stones. I'll give you some ASMR. trying to find ways to incorporate my paintings into jewelry work. So I did these little eye studies that I'm gonna try and set into pendants, but I have to get gems and stuff for them. So that'll probably be a far off project, but I'm thinking about it. These are my favorites, I think. These three right here. So I figured I would kind of give some context as to how this painting even came to life. I feel like I don't talk about that as often as I should, considering all of the little elements that go into the stuff I like to paint. This painting started kind of with an idea of like having an individual private space that I could exist in, and I feel like that's kind of hard to find for me these days. I was wondering what it would be like to have a place that was tailored specifically for you, almost as if it had to grow around you. That's why I chose the peony motif, because I feel like each petal is individually fitted and kind of grown to house the center of the flower. I wanted to get that across by having the figure in the center. It sort of came from this spirit. It was the essence or the innermost part of this flower. And that's kind of why I titled it Innermost. I was gonna call it like Seclusion of the Snow-Capped Peony. Like Innermost is sufficient. I don't think it really needs the long drawn out title. So I wouldn't say that my artwork is specifically a depiction of myself, but I think you can definitely see the headspace I'm in when I start to paint, what I'm feeling at the time. I've had this concept in the back of my mind for a few years, maybe 3 or 4 years I'm thinking. The time that I was kind of exploring the sketch for this painting, I was in school, in college, and I was always being perceived, always having to talk about myself in critiques and classes, and I felt like I was always surrounded by other people, which is fun and it adds to the experience and it's good to socialize. Funny coming from me. It is good to socialize, but at some point I need to be by myself. I like to be by myself. I think that's why this painting is sort of looking at solace and how that came about. I didn't really want it to feel isolating. It was meant to be a comforting piece. So I was looking for bright colors and soft expressions. The hands are the embodiment of the peony, kind of like the bridge between the human and the flower. So in a way, the petals house the spirit, but the hands contain it and keep it safe. I typically like to pair up the symbols or the natural elements in my work with a human figure, the human-esque counterpart. I want the spirit and the flesh to be one, kind of in everything that I do. I figured if I was going to merge the flower and the figure, I should keep the color palette similar. So I repainted the robes to a baby pink. That way it's like a burst of pink. It's very all-encompassing. I feel like I struggle in my work to kind of draw the viewer in. Like you're looking at it, but you really don't feel like invited into the painting. So I wanted to kind of try and get closer to that result with this painting, an immersion, if you will. Started this piece in May and it's now September, and typically it doesn't take me that long to paint because I like to do everything in one layer and then go back and add details. This one needed a lot of in-between drying time because I was using different mediums to get the flower texture. Super fun fact, I'm actually really terrible at painting flowers. It's probably one of my least favorite things to do. But this was a challenge, and I think it taught me a new way or technique that makes it not as painful for me. This piece needed a lot of in-between drying times because I was using linseed oil. Then I would block off large color sections. I wouldn't try and capture too much value, but then I would go in with the linseed oil and the paint mixture, and I would try to get the flower petal texture by laying that on top and then blending it out. So I wasn't using a ton of paint each time, but using that technique to build up the petal structure. Linseed oil does not dry very quickly, so you have to wait, I would say, several days to a week for the underneath layer to be dry. Then you can go on top and add more layers. And I did this a few times, but I definitely think that I could push it more and create more layers to get a more naturalistic effect. But realism isn't always the goal for me. I try not to completely cloud the concept with realism, because sometimes you just need a hint of reality. Not everything has to be completely rendered. or overdone. I think for this painting, the figure was the main subject, so it's okay for the flower to be slightly less detailed. Even so, I think it turned out well and I'm happy with the result. I think I got a little further to my goal of creating a story.